Selenium in mind. Like now I will talk about concepts of simple object oriented programming. Right. I'll make a very simple class, right? Name as car.java with no main function, nothing, a blank file. Okay, and I will make another class known as traveler. Okay, the person who has to travel with the main function inside it. So these are the two classes, car.java and traveler.java. Traveler is someone who will travel in the car. Okay, so wait a minute, there's a question being asked. How many types of frameworks will you be covering in the course, and what I will cover in the videos? Look, in videos I have covered data driven, I have covered keyword. Combination of both of these is hybrid, which is covered. Then there's something known as page object model framework in Selenium form. I have covered that in the videos. If you look at page objects, these 39 and 40 videos is for that. Then there is something known as Cucumber BDD. A lot of people outside India have this requirement. I have covered Cucumber BDD as well. Okay.
Hey Ashish, one more question. After completing the course, are you going to provide the recorded session for all the participants?
Yes.
For the course?
The current course is being recorded. Okay. That will be there in your videos account, which you will get in the course. Right. Okay. Along with the course, you will get pre-recorded videos for which you will have lifetime access. The current recorded sessions which I am recording, you will have access for 4 months to them after the course.
Okay. Thank you.
And these training videos are also you have lifetime access?
No, for 4 months on the server. I keep them for 4 months.
So training videos for 4 months.
Yeah, the current videos which we are recording. Okay.
Okay. And the framework, when you said all these frameworks are covered in the video, during the course you will cover one of them, and which one is that?
Yeah, because depending on what people want, right? Like in the last batch, people wanted page object model, so I covered page object model in that.
Okay.
Okay. If I cover hybrid, then obviously keyword and data driven, they automatically get covered. Right. Another question is being asked that, are you hosting all the videos on qtpselenium.com? Yeah, you will get a login into my website and you can watch the videos.
Ashish, this is regarding for an SVN and one more thing, Maven you have mentioned in a video. How far is that related to with the Selenium?
Look, SVN and question being asked is, how is SVN and Maven related to Selenium?
Yeah.
All right. Many of you might not be able to understand this right now, but giving you an answer for this, SVN is more like your versioning system.
Right.
Fine. Suppose there are 3 people working in the project. Okay. First one makes module A, second one makes module B, third one makes module C. Okay. All of them combine their modules, right? So you need a place where you can store the project globally, so that if a 4th person joins in tomorrow, when he downloads the project, he gets A plus B plus C. Right? That is what SVN does. It helps you to maintain the versions of your project.
Version control tool, right?
Yes, just like CVS or something. Right.
Okay.
Maven is again for one of the jobs of Maven is again versioning, but Maven maintains the version of your jar files.
Oh, okay.
For example, current jar file version which I am using is 2.31. Okay, so I can use Maven to maintain the correct version of jar files across various team members. One of the uses is what neighbor is. It can also be used to execute the project. Okay.
Fine.
Yeah. So any other question? Because when you go for interviews, these are the practical things which they ask. SVN can be configured inside. There are plugins which can be used and can be configured inside Eclipse. Okay. So
Yeah.
you're right.
One question, Ashish.
Yeah.
Yeah, after taking the course like what you were giving, like Java programming, so can we get a confidence like we can write a programming, Java programming?
I can't get your point.
No, once you complete so you are going to start with the Java programming, am I right? So
yeah, I'm starting with Java.
Yeah, so how much confident that you can say that after listening your classes, so we can like how much percentage that we can write a program?
Look, for Selenium, core Java is required. Okay, and you don't need concepts of those threads in core Java. Okay, rest all the concepts are used. So you after completing it, you can say that you know core Java. Advanced Java is for web-based applications. You don't need to learn that, right? So anything else from anybody?
Can we use the Selenium WebDriver for the mobile testing as well?
Yes, you can use it for Android and iPhone. If you look at the last module 43, it is basically for Android driver. Okay, but you can only test web-based applications.
Okay, means you cannot test the API apps, mobile apps. You are saying?
No. Selenium is not for that. Look, Selenium is only for web-based applications. If you go to Selenium website, I'm sorry. If you go to seleniumhq.org, the first question is what is Selenium, and it says that Selenium automates browsers.
Okay.
Okay, it is only for browser, nothing else. If you have to check how your website is opening in Android, you can check it, but you cannot test apps.
Means you cannot test APIs even using RC even?
No, it is not recommended, right? People ultimately end up doing that, but a better tool is SOAP UI.
Okay.
If you have to do API testing, REST API and all, SOAP UI will make your task 101 times easy.
Okay.
Okay, go for the right tool for right kind of job. So that's the thing.
Ashish, when I was going through the videos for Selenium ID, I found that one of your example with I don't remember the website. So when doing by fetching the ID, but you said that you could done through XPath and multiple ways and something like that.
Yeah.
Similar kind of recording things I have done from my website. I don't find various options. Only for that particular site, I found that there are multiple XPath and ID. There are multiple options are there. From in my website while I'm testing, I found only one. I mean, there is no drop-down box. So it does mean that I could do only with what I have.
Look, this is the drawback of ID. It limits you.
Okay.
Okay, this is the drawback of ID. Whatever is present in ID, you use it. Otherwise, you extend it by using extensions. Okay. That's why people use WebDriver, right? You are free to do anything. In WebDriver, you are the person who decides what you will use to identify the objects on the page. Okay. In ID decides whether ID will give you 10 options. Out of that, you select one.
Okay. In my program, I mean, in our organization, I don't think developers are checking the code with the proper unique ID.
Yeah, that's the problem everywhere. That's the problem everywhere.
I have a similar tool with done with the Win automation tool. I brought it. They have done with the CSS. Some objects it is being done with the they will give it the proper ID, and some objects they will not give it the proper ID. So in that case, I mean, what is an efficient or how effective
You
we
can
can
use
use it?
XPath, right? It's not necessary that every object on the page will have an ID.
Okay, okay.
Okay. Use XPath. There are number of locators. There is a CSS selector available in Selenium.
Okay.
Okay. So it's not necessary that every object should have an ID. You can use XPath as well.
No, I found that with the text box and the button and all, there will be with the help of that fire path, I can find the proper ID. But in some little bit complex application in our organization, like in Dropbox and expansion box, it's little bit difficult to find the ID.
It is there everywhere. Okay. It is there everywhere in all the applications. This is the case. Look, you cannot expect that developer can give an ID for every element on the web page which you have to interact with. For example, a link like this. It's highly impossible that this link will have an ID. Okay. So there are various types of locator strategies available in Selenium. Right? So you can use any one of those locator strategies.
But
I'll be talking about
XPath, if I use an XPath, if I change the position, if a developer is changing the position of any of that programming word to the left side or top left side, definitely it will fail, right? So in that
it depends on the way it depends on the way you have made the XPath. There are XPaths which work where it doesn't matter where your object is located on the page if the position also changes. The XPath name. It depends.
Right.
So that's the main art, right? The art of making XPaths. Okay. If I have I don't want to discuss this right now because I'll discuss XPaths tomorrow. There are students out here which don't know XPaths, but telling you in a very short way, you can make an XPath in 100 different ways. Okay. So it depends. Like in this course, I'll tell you what to do, how to do.
Fine. Thank you.
So now, as some of you might not have been able to understand some of the talks, but don't worry, I am starting again. I'm starting from the basics where we had left, right? So this was the program car.java and traveler.java. These were the two files which I had created. Okay. Now in traveler.java, I had this main function, right? In this main function, what we will do is we will make very basic thing, something known as creation of object of a class. How do you create the object of the class? All you need to do is that you need to write new car. Okay, now what does this mean? How is it helpful? What happens in the memory when you create the object of the class? Alright, suppose this is car.java. It has a property known as say string name of the car. Okay, so when you create the object of the class car, suppose I have created 3 objects. In the memory, you will have 3 objects created. Each of these objects would have the property name inside it. Okay, but you cannot access these objects. To access these objects, you need to use references. Okay, you can write car C1 equals to new car, then car C2 equals to new car, then car C3 equals to new car. So this is called creation of objects. How they are useful we'll study in just 2 minutes. Right. So when I do this, what happens is that I get the access to the objects. What happens is Just a minute. C1, C2 and C3 become three references which point towards the car class objects, right? So C1, C2, C3 are three references which point towards to these three objects, and the name, each reference can point towards a different name. For example, I can write C1 dot name is Audi, then C2 dot name is say Maruti, then C3 dot name is BMW. So C1, C2 and C3 will be the three objects references. These are known as references. Okay, with the help of this, each object can have a different name. First name will be Audi, second will be Maruti, third will be BMW. The property is same name, but with the help of objects, we can have a different name for every object. Okay, suppose in my car class I make a function. Like public void print, and inside this function I write print the name. So in the memory, each and every object will also have the print function inside it. Okay, so when I type over here C1 dot print, then C2 dot print, so these will call the corresponding print functions in C1, C2 and C3. So when I call the print function of C1, right, what is print printing? Print is printing the name of the car, right? So when C1, just a minute, when C1 prints the name of the car, right, when C2 prints and C3 prints, okay, the corresponding names will be printed, because out here when I call the this print function prints this name, this print function then prints this name, and this prints this name. So every object has got certain properties associated with it. Okay, right? Now how do we use this in Selenium? Right, for example, I'll make a new class over here, Selenium example. Right, now in Selenium, I hope this is clear to everybody. If anybody is having any question, please feel free to ask me. Any type of question, please feel free. Don't hesitate. Okay.
Object should be created only for the class which is already defined.
Yeah, obviously yes.
Okay.
Objects are only created for class which is already defined.
Okay.
Right. So now in Selenium, it is not a rocket science. Okay, everything is inbuilt. Right. For example, if you go to the documentation, of Selenium, then these are all the inbuilt classes in Selenium. Everything is inbuilt, you don't have to worry. You just have to use the existing classes. Okay? Fine. Now, yeah. One of the class is everybody must have heard the word Firefox driver. This class will start with this class. This class helps you to run the program on Firefox browser. You just need to create the object of this class. Firefox driver is. Look, if I just write over here new Firefox driver, that's it. You need to import it. Where this class is lying, this class is lying somewhere in the jar files of Selenium. Okay, like in Traveler class, I was creating the object of car class. Car class actually I had created. The Firefox driver class is present somewhere in the jar file which you have imported. You can create the object of that file like this. You just have to import it from the jar. Okay, how do you import it? You move the mirror over mouse and select import, or it's very simple. In keyboard you hit Control Shift O. When you hit the combination of Control Shift O, all the files, they are automatically imported.
So in previous example, while you are importing this traveler that class, there is no import utility
because car is present parallel to traveler class.
Okay, since it fetches from the path, path variable, whether the class file is there or not, it references based upon the default reference. Okay.
Yes.
By default, it checks from the default location. If the location is not there, it looks for reference one. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So if I run this code, what will I just created the object of Firefox driver, no reference, nothing. If I just create the object of Firefox driver, you'll see a new Firefox window opening up. See that? In many of your machines, error will come up. Please don't use Firefox 21. Okay, use Firefox 16 or some lower version. 21 is not supported. 21 is just new. Okay, so if you get a timeout error or something like that, please check the version of Firefox. Right now, if I write over here Firefox f equals to new Firefox, okay, and I run this, then I'll have the object of Firefox with me. With this object reference, you can call various functions in Firefox driver. These are all the functions. We'll be studying all of them, right? One of them is get. Get function will you apply the URL in it. Fine. For example, I supply the URL HTTP. Make sure that you supply the protocol. Okay, protocol is very important. Many times people directly write the site name, for example, gmail.com, and this will not work. HTTP or HTTPS, any protocol can be supplied. Okay, so this is one of the functions inside Firefox driver which I can access with this object reference. So when I run this, you'll see that the Firefox driver will make Firefox open, right, and it will automatically navigate to Gmail. Fine. So in your scripts, you actually do that. Now, if you have to enter your name and password in this, so you can probably use write another line to enter the username password. I'll talk about that. Fine. But if you have to execute the same script on Chrome, fine, right? What you can do is you can create the object of Chrome driver class. This is an internal class which manages all the operations on Chrome. Okay, you type Chrome driver C equals to new Chrome driver. Okay, create the object of this class. Fine. If I just create the object of this class and I run the code, you'll actually get an error. Okay, illegal state exception. The path-2 driver executable must be set by the WebDriver.chrome.driver system property. Look, when you get these types of errors, don't get confused. There are a lot of people, they get confused. Copy the first line, paste it on Google, and you'll get the solution. Okay, that's how everybody learns. Even I learned like this. You'll get hundreds of solutions. Okay, basically the solution is you cannot work with Chrome driver directly from the Selenium website. You have to download, for Chrome you have to download a third-party driver for Chrome. You go to Chrome browser page, and over here on this link, I'll give you this link over WebEx to everybody. Right, this is the link. Fine, over here you have this Chrome driver for Windows. Depending on your operating system, you can download. Right, I'll download it for Windows 32-bit machine. Fine, you download the zip file. Hold on, it's taking time. Just hold on. So once the download is complete, you right click, open the folder, extract the zip file. You will get Chrome driver.exe. Okay, I'll copy this and put it in my H drive. Right, now you need to, before initializing your Chrome driver, you need to give the path of that exe. You need to write system, you have to set a system property, system dot set property WebDriver dot Chrome dot driver and the path of that exe, H drive. In Java you have to give // okay, Chrome driver dot exe. Okay, you have to set this driver exe path, then start your Chrome driver. So now when I run this, I will not get an error, but Chrome will be launched. Okay, now on Chrome, if I have to navigate to a website, okay, what you can do is you can write Chrome dot again get the URL, say http gmail.com. Fine. So when you run this, Chrome will go to Gmail. For Chrome, you have to get this third-party driver. It is mandate. For Firefox, you don't have to get this. Okay. Now for I.
Ashish, once again,
Yeah.
when you create an object like either it's a Firefox driver or Chrome driver, it has opened a particular browser. So what happens is internally you are calling the particular class. Inside the in the particular class there will be a multiple functions as well as definitely there will be a main function. So where actually call goes on. So if you say for a c.get HTML, it calls the particular get function.
Yes.
So previously Chrome driver you have called, I mean that class you are calling, right? So the class, whenever you call the particular class, it opens the Chrome driver class file, and there will be definitely be main function will be there. From that main function,
no, main is not there. Main is only there in Selenium example. Main is the place where your program starts. Chrome driver is not having main function inside it.
So it won't have a main function. Okay.
For example, was car class having main function?
Okay. Okay.
No. On Traveler, I had the main function because I was the class which you have to execute has the main function inside it.
Okay.
Okay, Traveler class I am executing. So Traveler will have the main function.
Okay. Okay. Fine.
Inside
So when you
Traveler,
create an object, So when you create an object in that particular class, they mentioned that open up the browser. That's what I mean in the they have coded decoded.
Yeah, that's
pattern.
what they have coded in the class. When you create the object, automatically the browser opens.
Okay, so in that one, in that particular driver class, Chrome driver class, there will be multiple functions like get, put, everything like that. So
Yeah,
based upon the request, we are
yeah.
getting right. Okay.
If you write C dot, you see how many functions are there. One of them is close. It will close the browser. Find element will find the element. Execute
Okay.
script, execute async. This is for Ajax and all. So there are a lot of functions.
Right.
If you have to
Thanks.
move the mouse, something get mouse, something like this, get session ID, get screenshot. So it's like this. Okay.
Fine.
Yes. So now, if you talk about IE, look, I have a server operating system for taking the class, and I don't have IE8, IE9, I have IE6, which is a terrible browser. Fine. But I'll tell you how to work with IE8 because everybody these days have IE8, 9 or 10. Okay. First of all, you have to shift the protected mode in IE to the same level, right, for all the options. So just go to Google and type IE protected mode off. I always tell people just keep it off. Fine. Follow the steps. Right. Follow the steps. All right. These steps, and in these whatever the steps are, just follow them, and it will happen. It will work. Okay. Just do that. Secondly, you have to download for I also. There is a third party. There is a driver, not a third party driver. This is the driver for 32-bit I or 64-bit I, right? For 32-bit I, you download this iDriver server.zip similar to Chrome driver, okay, and open it, extract it here, right? I'll keep this in my H drive. Fine, and for I as well, you have to set the system property. You have to write system.set property WebDriver .i.driver, and the value is path of the file, that is H drive iDriver.exe, and then you create the object of an internal class known as internet. If you just type INTER in Eclipse, okay, and hit Control Spacebar, it will give you all names of all the classes which start with this, okay, and one of them would be Internet Explorer driver. Hold on, Internet Explorer driver. This is the one. Write Internet Explorer driver I equals new Internet Explorer driver. Now this will open up I. And similarly, if you have to take I to Gmail, you type i.get@gmail.com. So if you run this, this will open up I, and you see it's automatically going to Gmail. Fine. So I've told you about all the three browsers, how to automate them. Fine. Okay, now the various questions arise that what if I have to test on multiple browsers? That means I have to open a browser dynamically from an external source like whether Chrome or whether Firefox. Secondly, will each class, for example, if I have to click on a link in Firefox, if I have to click on a link in Chrome and link in I, will the command be different? Because the classes are different. So what about the commands? Suppose tomorrow a new browser comes up. Okay, what happens to that? Will it have its own methods and its own functions, the driver for that browser, right? So I'll talk about that. Fine. Before talking about that, I need to start with the concept of interfaces in Java language. Interfaces are very important concept of function. Right. So I'll not talk about interfaces. Ram, just give me 1 minute. I'll not talk about interfaces now. Okay. I'll talk about it in tomorrow's class because I just have 15-20 minutes and I don't want to start with interfaces. Fine. So meanwhile, anybody having any question regarding the course and all, you can ask. Yeah, Ram, you're asking me something.
Yeah, this is regarding just now you have created some objects. Like how you will create the objects. If suppose if I want to interact with an Opera browser or Safari browser from the mobile, like how you will do that?
Look, mobile is completely different.
So just now you were given like
you have to change the user agent.
Okay.
Okay. You have to change the user agent for mobile testing. You know about user agent?
No, I don't know. That's it.
Okay, I'll tell you in the course, right? As we go forward, every browser has a user agent. You can change that user agent, and you can make that browser behave the way it behaves in mobiles. All right. So, okay. Yes. Anybody else having any question regarding course regarding Selenium? I'll stop here. I don't want to do too much on the first. Fine. Right. You'll get the recorded sessions as well. Okay. Any question? Yeah. There is Don. Yes, Don. No, from the third class we'll continue whatever we build till second. I'll not start something very new or something like that. I'll just go in the flow. Okay. Another question is, how do I register myself for the course? If you want to register yourself, you can go to my site b2bselenium.com, and there's a section over there, contact trainer. You can fill out the form and just tell me that you are interested for the course. We will contact you. Okay. Would you take up an application and automate it? Yeah, I'll be automating many applications and many examples. There'll be no PPT involved, nothing like that. Okay. Sridhar is asking question, how can we access the recorded session? For the free classes, I'll upload the recorded sessions on YouTube. You'll get the links on email. For the paid classes, you will actually have to log in into your account and ask them. Okay. So if you are interested in the course, you can fill out this form. I'm giving you the form link and send across the request to me. I'll try to get in touch with you.
Can we get projects as well so that we can show that as experience in our resume?
Look, I can give you a project, but what will happen? Everybody will copy that project. Okay, so that's the thing, right? So
I didn't get you. What did you say?
I have some few projects with me. If I give them to you, then what will happen? Everybody copies the same project in the resume, right? If you want, I can give you.
So in that case, not to provide multiple projects to everyone.
I don't have that many with me. Yeah. So look, instead of concentrating towards project or something like that, go and learn the tool properly. Okay. If you have your basics ready, right? With my experience, I can tell you anybody will recruit you. Anybody. Okay. Like, to be very honest, I'm into training since past 3-4 years. There used to be a fresher whom I hired to help me out with the training work because I couldn't take it alone. So that guy used to interact with people who come to training, batch and all this that. Along with that, I used to teach him Selenium as well. He just learned it from me for 1 year, and he got a job in Selenium after that, and he got a pay package equivalent to a person who has experience of around 6. So it doesn't matter whether you are new or old. If you know the tool properly, right? Anybody is going to pay you, and especially in Selenium where very few people know this tool. Okay, um, that's the problem, right? Developers don't want to come into testing. They don't know what this thing is, automation. They don't know the scope of it, right? Testers, they don't know programming language. So that creates a kind of gap between demand and supply. There's a lot of demand, but there are not good people available on this tool, which companies are finding. That's why salaries are also going up. So if you learn it properly, right, give yourself time, people are ready to hire you, right?
Selenium WebDriver is only
Yes,
for
I
the
know.
web-based applications, right? Not
Yes,
for the desktop
no.
applications.
But
I think
90% of the applications are web-based, right?
Yeah.
I have a question too. So I know this is a web-based tool, but so you can use this to automate like keyboard, call center, and things like that, right?
If it is opening in a browser,
It does open, but I don't think they have HTML code behind them.
I'll have
So
to check that out. I'll have to check that out.
okay,
Okay. Look, if the page source is there, like you can do something with it. You can use JavaScript. Okay.
okay.
A lot of things are available, a lot of options. Just hold on. There's one more question. Which framework out of TestNG, JUnit, Cucumber would you suggest? Look, I would suggest TestNG out of TestNG and JUnit. All right, because there are many. The reports are very good. It is simple. Lots of features are there. Companies are shifting towards TestNG these days. You cannot compare TestNG with Cucumber because the concept for both of them is very different. Okay, that is BDD, behavior driven development. TestNG is test driven development, TDD. So you cannot actually. It depends on the website as well which you want to test. Okay, sometimes the website is such that you prefer using Cucumber. Sometimes you prefer using TestNG. Fine. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. In how many? 4 to 5 weeks. I'll cover it up. Okay, happy birthday. Right. Kiran, suppose if we are stuck in a project doing look, I can help you in your project provided I have access to your URL. Many times people expect me to help in their projects, but they cannot give me the URL. So it becomes a very awkward situation for me as well. Right. Out of QTP Selenium, which is good, Selenium is good. Look, QTP, I cannot say that. I cannot predict the future. It's a paid tool, but for Selenium, I can predict it's gonna be a hit, right? Since 2009, the demand is going up very, very high, right? It's a free tool. Google is behind it. It's not gonna go down. It will always rise, right? Yeah, you can have help from me. I help people out. Oh, okay. Important question. The most important question after completing the course: can we succeed in interviews? Look, from my side, there's a guarantee. Okay, but what people do, they tend to expect fast results. Okay, don't think that after 5 weeks you'll be running around and you'll be perfect in Selenium, right? It will take you at least 2 months. I've never seen a person clearing an interview before 7 to 8 weeks, right? There are few lucky guys who just get it in the first, right? But generally, you should give yourself 2 months. Okay.
How far the Selenium is good compared to the paid tool, like what say is HP tools and many tools
Yeah,
are there.
if you
Seems to be
compare
quite
Selenium and QTP, I would say QTP is far more better. I've also worked on it. The
right.
development
Okay.
time is easy. If I've been given a test case to automate in QTP, if it takes me 10 minutes, then in Selenium it will take me 40 minutes.
Okay.
Okay.
The same output or
Without
same kind of performance
same
will it be
output.
fulfilled with the Selenium?
Yeah, same output. Okay.
I mean, same output
Right.
means same report in terms of getting a report, to how many tests got where it got failed, or all sorts of exact report. What
Yeah, that
right.
variation is there. But if you tell me a simple task, okay,
Okay.
go to Gmail, enter username and password. If it takes some time in QTP, it will take much more time. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
RC coding libraries cannot be implemented in WebDriver, Kiran. RC cannot be implemented. Don't confuse both of them. Makes both of them.
Okay.
What is the difference between QTP and Selenium apart from open source? QTP uses VB scripting, Selenium uses Java. QTP also can test desktop-based applications. Selenium cannot test desktop-based applications. QTP has got an IDE. You open QTP. This is QTP. Okay. When you open QTP, this a window like this opens up. There is a license for it, and in the beginning that will come up. Right, it's got an IDE, there are buttons in it, you click on the buttons and actions are performed. In Selenium WebDriver, all you need to do is open Eclipse and do the complete coding yourself. Right, it is completely like descriptive programming QTP. Okay, QTP is more powerful, that's what I have realized.
Would
Easy
you
to learn.
provide the assignments as well so that we are used to Selenium?
Yes. Once I go ahead a little bit, right, I'll start giving you. I'll also be giving you practice questions in the class. I request everybody to please revise everything, whatever I'm going to teach. Okay, because people they tend to just come for one class to another, and in between they don't do anything, then they lose interest. Okay, please revise. Yeah.
Okay.
So the free weekend classes for 4 hours, right? 9 to 11, and for weekdays I find it's 5 hours. Extra 1 hour is there.
Yeah, that's extra 1 hour because I can't help it, right? So I just take 2 hours a day. That's why. But in weekend classes, I also tend to teach more, right? In continuous 2 hours, I get.
Right.
Okay. So that's also one of the points. What is the scope for Selenium now and feature? Look, Selenium is gonna be there. Okay, the demand will increase. It's free. It can do anything which other tool can do. If you talk about 2 years back, who used to ask about Selenium? Nobody used to ask about Selenium. I still used to do projects 2 years back on Selenium. Hardly people knew about it, but it got famous. After the recession, no company wanted to pay on testing, especially on testing tools. So obviously, they started switching over to Selenium, and then WebDriver came into picture. It's too good. It's a perfect tool, right? Ruby, Cucumber, and Selenium, which will be demand? Look, I'm not a god, okay, but I can say Selenium will not go. I can tell you that because the entity which is behind Selenium is Google. All Google applications are tested using Selenium, right? It's not going to go away. They are the ones who are increasing the scope of this tool day by day. 33 different versions have come up in past 1 year 10 months. That means almost every new version every month. So they're doing something on this tool.
Is it possible that there are some kind of UI elements which Selenium means which XPath is not able to identify that uniquely?
Yeah, there are stuff which there are various things not able to recognize. Now you have to pay a price for a free tool. Okay, but the chances are very rare. I've seen those. I've seen places where Selenium fails, but you have to pay the price, right? You're using open source tool. Fine. In how many weeks? Hold on. In my organization, I'm manual testing using course. Yes, you can hold a project on your own. Fine. Initially, you will face difficulties. Don't think that stuff will go smoothly. Okay, but if you have the will, you can do it, right? There's nothing to be afraid. No, people are. I've seen many people. They have a kind of fear in them with Selenium and coding. Look, if you don't jump into the river, you cannot learn how to swim, right? So you have to jump into it. Only then you can learn. That's how we have learned. right? So when I started learning QTP in 2005, nothing used to be there, no documentation, no training, no nothing. So we also learned you just have to jump into it. Slowly and gradually things they fall into places, right? Yeah.
Java and Ruby. I mean, which would be the easy one to learn if
Both are
neither
equal.
both are
Both are
equal?
both are object oriented.
Okay.
Even C# it is object oriented. Only the syntax they are different. Otherwise the commands they are same.
Okay. So once we learn to go through your video training, so we mean to say you say that you must be much flexible or known with the core Java concept. So will that core Java concept will it be helpful for kind of an all kinds of
Whatever core Java I have covered,
okay,
it is in relation to Selenium, and it is more than enough.
okay,
I've
more
also
than enough
covered.
to do all sorts of automation with
Yes.
particularly okay. Whether it is done with developed with the .NET code or PHP code or with the Silverlight application, any kind of an application we could test. Because I found some of the tools or something like that, this won't work, that won't work, it won't apply for Silverlight application testing and etc. etc. So
Yeah, it won't Silverlight.
Silverlight it won't support, you mean to say, for Selenium?
It can support. You need to have a very good skill.
Okay. Good skill in terms of depth knowledge about Java or Selenium.
Java, JavaScript, and also Silverlight. Okay. How much possibility software QA engineers with Selenium automation skills are likely to be paid? It depends on the company. It depends on the place. US, UK, America, India. It depends. This is just a general question, but the salaries are good. Okay. Like in UK, the testers, Selenium testers are being paid more than the developers in some companies. Right. Look, I'll not just teach you then Java, I'll teach you the concepts parallelly. Like I did them right now. I told them what objects are and then I told how to use them in Selenium. So it becomes a little tough to answer this question. I'll keep on carrying it forward, oops concepts, and I'll keep on covering the topics parallelly. No, I don't have recordings for Python. I'm sorry, Vijay, I don't have. Right?
Are you an employer?
Pardon?
Are you an employee or employer?
I'm both.
Okay.
I'm both. I work as well, and parallelly I teach people. I do some projects. From US people send me some projects. I do them.
Okay. So are you currently in India only, right? Or yes,
I'm in Pune. I'm in India. I'm a place called Pune.
Okay.
So in the end, so we'll end up the session. Tomorrow's class where you'll get a new URL, okay, and a new URL to join the training.